Hey, good morning. God bless you and welcome to another morning devotion. I'm very happy to have you here with me today. It really does my heart good every time you guys join me on another morning devotion. Quick side note before we get started. Today is what's today's date? October the 7th is today's date that I'm doing this morning devotion, and October is Clergy Appreciation Month. So first, I want to say thank you to all of the pastors, men and women of the faith that have poured into my life and have helped me to grow and to develop as I'm still growing and developing. I thank God for all of the men and women, the pastors, the leaders that have poured into my life. I also want to take a moment to publicly thank all of the people that have shown an outpouring of support and blessings, even to me, during this Pastoral Appreciation Month. I can't even begin to tell you how much that feels to me, for how much that means to me that during this month of Pastoral Appreciation that you guys have been literally just blowing my mind with the outpouring of love. I'm so grateful that God is using me to touch your lives with these morning devotions. Your messages, your words, your gifts are very, very encouraging. So thank you for that. And let's go ahead and get into this devotion. All right. So this morning, what I want to talk to you about is something as it was on my mind. I said, wow, yeah, I don't think I ever really thought about it like that. It is the strength needed for compassion. The strength needed for compassion. I never really thought about compassion as something that you needed a lot of strength in order to do. But the more you take a moment to really think about it and examine it and see it, even with the way Christ used it, you understand that it takes an incredible amount of strength to have compassion. Think about this. When Jesus was here on earth, a lot of times the things that he did were motivated by the fact that he had compassion on the people that were around him. Multitudes would gather around him. He would see them. They would get hungry. And I stopped for a minute and went, how do we behave when we're hungry? If you've been sitting there all day listening to a preacher preach, and it's been hours and hours and hours and hours, at a certain point, your son is hungry, your family's hungry, you start getting hungry. By nature, people are going to start complaining. I never really thought that maybe there were some people in the crowd that were complaining because they'd been there all day and nobody has fed them. Nobody has attended to that need. And so here they are sitting here all of this time waiting on something. And when Jesus looked at them, even if he heard complaining, even if he heard murmuring, even if he heard people having so much to say, his perspective was that he was moved with compassion. Whenever he dealt with somebody, when he dealt with the woman at the well, the way that he interacted with her showed compassion. When he dealt with the woman who was caught in the middle of adultery, in the very act of adultery, the way that he treated her showed that he saw her with compassion. And what really got me was that when he was up on the cross, nails in his hands and in his feet, looking at the very people who are mocking him, spitting on him, talking about him, making fun of him, and even crucifying him, the way that he responded to them showed that he was operating from compassion. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm up here on this cross and the very people who put me up here, who are still in the middle of actively talking about me, making fun of me, not even caring about the pain that I'm going through, don't even care what I'm dealing with, don't even care what I'm suffering through, you talking about me, making fun of me, actively trying to destroy me, I'm not sure how. Can you imagine the amount of strength it takes to now look at those same people with compassion? See, it takes the strength that comes from God. It takes a God perspective, a kingdom mind to look at people with compassion. You know, sometimes when we think about compassion, we think about something along the lines of feeling sorry for. So when we think about compassion, we're thinking about the less fortunate. We're thinking about the hungry or the homeless or people who don't have. And we're like, oh, I need to have compassion on them. We're thinking about people that have maybe been hurt or been in a bad situation, and feel like we're in a better situation. So we look at them and we want to have compassion on them. A lot of times we attribute compassion with someone that we consider to be less or lower. They have less than we have. They're in a lower place in life than we are. But I want to challenge you this morning to take another look at how you think about compassion, because compassion is supposed to be poured on all of those that are dealing with anything. Watch this. You can have compassion on somebody when you recognize that what they're doing right now is a byproduct of them being attacked and affected by the enemy. The Lord was able to have compassion on a people because he saw them as sheep without a shepherd. The Lord was able to have compassion on the very people who were crucifying him because he saw them as being oppressed under the hand of the enemy. When he looked at the people and what they were doing, he said, I feel bad for these people. I feel bad for these people because they're like sheep without a shepherd. I feel bad for these people because their actions are proof that they are under the thumb or the oppressive hand of the enemy, and what they need is a savior. I feel bad for those people who want to come and attack me, come after me, talk about me, want to try to destroy me. I feel bad for you because you are clearly still under the hand of an oppressive enemy who's messing with your mind, messing with your emotions, messing with your thoughts. That's the only reason why you're attacking me. You're attacking me because you've fallen victim to another plot or plan of the enemy. And when I see you in that light, yeah, you talking about me. Yeah, you trying to attack me. Yeah, I see that you coming after me, but I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you because you're a victim. I have compassion on you. What do I mean that you're the victim? You're attacking me. You're trying to hurt me. You're trying to tear me apart. Why would I call you the victim? I'm calling you the victim because you're the one that fell victim to the enemy's plot and plan against you. You fell victim to what the enemy was whispering in your ear. That's why you're trying to attack me. Come on. You need to look at your enemies in a whole new light. The Lord had compassion on his enemies. Take a moment and think about that. The Lord said, if I wanted to, if he told Peter, said, Peter, if I wanted to, I could call down a legion of angels right now and smite everybody, but I have compassion. The Lord didn't do that because he had compassion. He had compassion on the soldiers that came to arrest him. That's why when Peter chopped off the soldier's ear, the Lord looked down, grabbed his ear and put it back on his head and healed him, because God operated with compassion even when it came to his enemies. Come on, I need us to understand what I'm trying to tell you this morning, that we need to pray to God for the strength to be compassionate, not just to those that we see are that we say are like homeless or we feel like they need our help. No, we need to take it a step further and pray to God to give us the strength to operate with compassion even when it comes to our enemies, because the Lord is calling you to operate with love and compassion for everybody, not just the people. The Bible says, Jesus said, if you only show love to the people who love you, what makes you any different? No, I'm calling you to come to a higher level. I'm calling you to come to a higher standard. I'm calling you to do some stuff that's going to be contrary to your natural flesh desires. No, I'm calling you to come up to another level. And in this other level, I'm calling you to do kingdom things, have a kingdom mindset, a kingdom point of view, look at things through kingdom eyes. I'm calling you to be kingdom. And in the kingdom, here's what we do. When we have an enemy, somebody who's attacking us, somebody who's coming after us, recognize that that person must clearly be blind in the spirit, deaf in the spirit. They don't understand that they are now being used as a pawn of the enemy, a pawn where when they attack a child of God, they are hurting themselves. We need to have a kingdom mindset. Don't you understand that the enemies in your life, the people that are coming to attack you, harm you, do you dirty, the ones that are throwing your name in the dirt, don't you understand that God said, I fight your battles? So anyone who's trying to fight you is actually trying to fight the God that is already promised to fight your battles. I feel bad for them. Come on, y'all. I feel bad for anybody who's trying to do me dirty, anybody who's trying to talk against me, anybody who's put their tongue against me and trying to do me harm. I feel bad for you because I serve a God that has promised to fight my battles. The Lord told me to hold my peace because he was going to fight my battle. So if you're trying to fight me, I actually feel bad for you, because anyone trying to fight me actually has to contend with the God who said that he would always fight my battles for me. That makes me feel bad for you. And so now now I begin to operate with a spirit of compassion. I have compassion on my enemies. Why? Because when you try to fight me, when you try to hurt me, when you try to harm me, I ain't got to worry about you. You're not fighting me. I'm covered. I'm protected. I'm resting in the arms of the Lord. I'm in the Lamb's house. So when you try to attack me, it's not me that you really got to contend with. You got to contend with God. And now I feel bad with anybody who picks a fight with God. See, so now my prayer becomes, oh, God, forgive them because they know not what they do. And can I tell you this as I get ready to close out this morning devotion? Looking at people with compassion is not just about them, but watch this, it's actually a test of you. Because see, the Lord told us to love our enemies. Love those who do wrong to us. Love those who go to hurt us. Love those who talk bad about us. The Lord told us to love them. Now, if you see somebody who's been hurting you and you realize that anyone who's trying to hurt you is actually going to have to deal with God, and you're like, wow, if you're trying to fight with God, I'm actually feeling bad for you. And because I love you, I'm going to pray like Jesus prayed. See, Jesus has been our example the whole time. Jesus said, here, watch what I do on the cross. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. I want you to do as I do, not just as I say, because I do everything I say. So I'm going to say it and then I'm going to prove it. And then I want you to do it too. The Lord sitting up on the cross, looking at all the people who put him up there, the people who screaming out, crucify him, spitting on him, throwing rocks and sticks at him, doing everything that they can in order to defy him. These same people, the Lord looked at them with compassion. He realized that they doing this to him would have to contend with his Father. And he responded by praying to his Father and said, Father, Father, forgive them. Forgive them. Yeah, forgive them. Those people that are attacking me, they don't realize that by attacking me, they're actually going to have to fight with you. Forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing when they attack me. Forgive them. No, because I know that when you attack me, there's something coming your way because I'm covered. God, forgive them. Forgive them because, see, you taught me to love my enemies. So even though they're coming after me, even though they're trying to hurt me, even though they're trying to attack me, I'm still called to love them. And if I love them, I wish no harm on them. But hurting me is automatically going to bring harm your way, because when you try to hurt me, you got to deal with the God in me, which is going to make you an enemy fighting with God. So now I got to switch my whole mindset. Now I'm like, wait a minute, you just tried to attack me, which puts you in harm's way with God. Oh no, because I love you, I'm supposed to have that mentality where I don't want to see harm come your way. So now I gotta pray for you. I gotta pray for you because your dumb self tried to hurt me. You can't attack me. I'm covered by God. I'm resting in him. He is my strong tower. He is my covering. And now here your dumb self go trying to attack me. Now I got to pray for your dumb self that God would forgive you and have mercy on you for trying to attack me. Compassion. It takes strength to have compassion. And we need to pray for the strength of God. When you know that God has got your back, when you're resting in him as your strong tower, then you can have compassion on your enemies. Because anybody who tries to attack you is not really having to do battle with you. They are going to have to contend with the God who covers you. And if you do what God says and love your enemies, that ought to be a scary thought. Oh, man, you're going to have to deal with God now. Okay, all right, God, you taught me to love my enemies and they attacked me, which means you got to cover me. So please be merciful to them. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a consequence, but be merciful to them, God. Have compassion. Pray to God for the strength to have compassion. Listen, I pray that that was encouraging to somebody, because I'm telling you, I know I'm not the only one. You're not the only one that is dealing with some people that is hard to be compassionate to. But the Lord is calling us to operate by kingdom principles, not earthly principles, not the principles of how I feel, but the principles of what he says. So I'm going to pray for you this morning. You're in my prayers, that you would operate from a kingdom mindset, a kingdom perspective, and that you would ask God through his Holy Spirit to give you the strength to have compassion. Listen, I pray that was encouraging for you this morning. And if it was encouraging for you, it will most likely be encouraging for somebody else. So I'm going to ask you to do what I always ask you to do. And I'm going to ask you to share this video with somebody that you know needs to hear it. All right. And if you've missed any of this or any of our other morning devotions, know that we have a Facebook page. So you can fly on over to Facebook. I'm going to put the link in the description above this video. So you can click on that link. It'll take you right to our YouTube playlist where you can subscribe and see more morning devotions. I want to thank you once again for joining me on another morning devotion. Thank you again. I'm so blown away by it. Thank you again for all the gifts and all the love. I can't get over the outpouring. You guys are just so amazing. And I'll see you on the next morning devotion. Until then, have a victorious day, a victorious week, and live a victorious and compassionate life. God bless you.